Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa Barnett, and I am the founder of Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom. And I am excited to have everyone here with us today. I've really been called again by our Akashic record keepers to bring this information out in a bigger way to humanity. And I know that there are so many people around the world. So I'm excited that it looks like I've got it live streaming on Facebook as well as live on Zoom. So I can do a little bit of group healing for everyone. And that is really part of my soul mission and purpose. So we're going to do some quantum healing through our Akashic records. And the Akashic Masters tell us that nothing is written in stone. We often think that, the past is written, or sometimes we believe in predestination and that the future is written. And it may be written in pencil, but it's definitely not chiseled in stone. So when we work in our own Akashic records, because they are held in source energy in the quantum field, we can literally move outside of time and space. We can go into past lives and rewrite them. We can heal the emotional pain and trauma that often locks that energy down in a past life. And that shows up as a block or a fear or some kind of constriction in this life, if that's part of what you wanted to work on in this life. Now, the truth is that most of us have had 500 or 700 or 900 lifetimes here on Earth alone, as well as thousands of lifetimes in other places, planes, and dimensions. So what happens is that we as humans living in this human life with amnesia, right? We all have amnesia or most of us have some kind of amnesia. We come into our body and we completely forget that your soul made a plan that it wanted to live out. And that soul plan is actually your soul's purpose, to work through the karmic patterns, the soul contracts, to be there to support and help other people, and of course, to share our gifts and talents with humanity. But soul purpose is never one thing. Many of us think that there's one purpose we have, but our soul's plan, our life is truly our purpose. And so the record keepers are wanting us to kind of get over the idea that we may not have lived our purpose, because so much of what we do is actually part of our soul's purpose, right? Our purpose is kind of big and expansive. Like I say, we write 25 or maybe 50 soul contracts with people. We write them to be supportive, where we have a soul contract to be that support team, and they support us and we support them. And we also write those soul contracts to learn and to grow, which may be the soul contract that has karma attached. It may be challenging. It may be awful. It could be a terribly abusive relationship. But there is a plan in the craziness of our lives. And that is, to me, one of the greatest gifts that we get from accessing the Akashic records, is being able to start to understand who we wrote soul contracts with and what they're about and what we've come to learn from them. And often what we learn and how we grow is a gift to share with humanity. So it's really great to understand and to feel and be able to know and believe that the challenges in our lives, along with the great days, the gifts, the fun, are all part of our soul's plan, not just one little purpose. So big purposes, lots to do. So I see people writing into the chat already with some healing requests, and I will definitely do quite a bit of that. But I think I want to see if there's a little bit more information the record keepers would like to share with us. You know, and part of what they want us to really start to understand is how we can personally use our own Akashic records to support our ascension and our soul evolution. And part of the way that we can use our own Akashic records is to actually learn to access them, to step into our own personal power and deepen into learning some of the very phenomenal empowerment tools that are available to us on the planet today. And I would say one of the highest tools is the Akashic Records, because it was pulled away from Earth in the Dark Ages about 1,000 years ago. And so this information has only started coming back to us in the last 30, 40 years. And the exciting thing is we're really at this precipice of creating a beautiful, strong, conscious foundation for our lives, and to really build a new fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional and eventually sixth, seventh, eighth dimensional life here on planet Earth. So by accessing your own personal Akashic records, by learning this tool, which I teach, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, by being able to actually access your own Akashic records, you can talk to your record keepers every day, asking your highest and best next step. What else is in my soul plan? What gifts and talents can I reclaim? What is my next step in my own soul's evolution, in this phenomenal ascension plan that's going on our Earth right now? Because this is all about you understanding who you are as an ancient and infinite, eternal and wise soul, and stepping back more fully into your own empowerment to take charge of your own life, to help yourself to move forward with ease and grace. And so, of course, I'm thrilled to be able to be the healer that I am. That's part of my soul plan. And to be able to do these group healings, because of course, as we come together and do this work as a group, it's even more powerful. Doing our own personal work is phenomenally powerful because it starts to ripple out to our family and friends and our the people that we're close to. But when we can get 100 people together and do that group healing, just imagine it's 100 times 100 times 100 rippling out into the world all over the planet. I'm seeing people popping in. It's always kind of fun. Just if you want to write, especially if you're outside of the US, just let me know where you are, because that's always really lovely to see and to kind of know energetically where else we're connecting in. And let me then, while you're doing that, let me just see if there's a theme that comes up in what's been written into the chat box. Thank you. I just see I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you for doing this, Lisa. I'm grateful for you and for being here. Thank you. Inner child healing, fear and trauma. We're definitely working on fear and trauma. We can rewrite our Akashic records in some ways, and it really is a process. And it's one of the reasons that it's so powerful and important to be able to access your own Akashic records, because then we can really go in and work on the information that's in your own records, and then what we can heal, what we can change, transform, release, rewrite. So what I have seen in all these years of healing with clients is sometimes I'll go into a past life, say, probably the one, it was probably the first time it happened years ago when I was doing a healing for someone who had been beheaded on a guillotine for being a healer, for being a witch back in the 1200s. And I remember thinking, okay, wow, if we can just go in and clear a lot of that emotional pain and physical pain, let's just say, usually from being beheaded, and all the fear that goes up to that, and who knows the torture before that, that we can take that fear and that trauma out of the past, which is affecting their present, and which will again affect their future if they continue to hold on to this physical pain, emotional pain, trauma, because the trauma can lock us down and make it hard to get unstuck and move forward. So we may come in knowing that we're a healer, but if that energy is stuck and blocked and locked down because of another lifetime, then it's a challenge, right? We don't know how to move forward. We can't move forward. We are feeling stuck. And so much of the work I do is for people who are stuck. And so anyway, I was doing a healing for this person, and I remember clearing the emotional pain and the physical pain and the trauma and the spiritual pain, which is that feeling like, why have I been abandoned? Where is Mother, Father, Goddess, God? Where is Source? Come save me. How can you abandon me like this? And that's its own type of energy, spiritual kind of abandonment, spiritual pain. And so as I did this healing on this client and could release all of that pain from their field back in the 1200s and fill them up with their highest Akashic energy, light, and love, I literally saw the picture transform from this person with their head in a guillotine, without a head actually at that point, to the head being back on the body, the guillotine opening up, and they stood up and literally walked off into the sunset. And I was like, wow, that was amazing. And what they told me was that after that healing, they lost their fear of going out and sharing the gifts that they had, the healing gifts that they have come to give with humanity. They were able to go out and share their gifts really easily for the first time in their life, where in the past they had been so afraid of getting killed for being a healer, that they were just unable. They tried, but they were just stuck in that, I'm unable to talk about this, to share this. So I know that because we're in this quantum field of the Akashic records of source energy, that we literally can, we're outside of time and space. We can heal the past because the past is still happening. We don't need to heal the future, but sometimes I see that it's beneficial to pull energy back from the future that we planned a long time ago, which is no longer in alignment with who we are now in our lives. We might have made a plan and sent energy out when we were a child, when we were 5 or 15. And at 55, that's no longer valid. It's no longer really viable for us. And so we can pull that kind of future energy back and reclaim it in this moment, so that we can start to create anew from now. So healing the past, being able to reclaim energy from that we've left laying around all over the place, as well as reclaiming what we call future energy that is no longer in alignment with who we are now, is all very beneficial. And so we're going to do some of that now. And again, as I love to share, it is so helpful for us to learn to do this, to be really becoming our highest and best healers, right? So let me just read through a couple more of these. And I popped a link in the chat. I have a 2-day live that's coming up in May, where we'll do kind of more healing and a little bit more teaching and some more tools. And I'd love to have you join me. So check that out. And we're just going to start. That's a good one. Removing the fear to love, care, and share due to feeling not enough. Okay, so kind of past life family, dark family that you're repeating. So let's do some work around that. There's a good question. I've had many healings regarding being strangled and killed many times from being a witch. Why do I keep having to be healed from this? How do I heal it permanently? So that's a great question. Different people heal in different ways. I have found that the most powerful way to actually heal something is by going into your own Akashic Records. That's the recording of your personal soul journey, which is why I do it this way and this way only. I've given up all the other healing tools I learned for the first, 20 or 30 years of my life, in lieu of being able to work in the Akash, in the quantum field. But the truth is that we have many, many, many lifetimes, and we as humans often heal in layers. And so what I always like to share is that, sometimes I'll have clients come to me and they'll say, can we clear all my karma? Well, the answer is no. It doesn't work that way. The karma is about learning and soul growth. We as souls come to this planet to learn and grow. Because when we grow, right, our soul gets wiser and stronger with more wisdom and gifts to share. And so if we just clear a bunch of karmic patterns, we don't get the learning, we don't get the growth from it. And so we'd probably come back and recreate that pattern just to get the learning and the growth. So if somebody is deleting your karma without you actually having completed it yourself, learning the lesson, moving into a space of compassion and forgiveness and love, if we skip all of that just to erase it, it will often recreate. And so it's important to be able to have those gifts, that learning, that soul growth from the challenges, from the karmic patterns. that we actually have come in to work with. So that's important to know. And then, again, like I say, multiple layers. And so to me, kind of the bigger question is, what am I not learning? What am I missing? What am I not stepping into that this keeps showing back up again? So often it's about us not only finishing it, clearing it, and releasing it. It's about taking that soul wisdom, that growth, those gifts, and doing something with them. So how can I take a baby step forward? What's my next highest and best step to take now that I have, completed this karmic pattern, now that I have reclaimed some of my healing gifts? And this, again, is why I love to teach people to access their own Akashic records, and so that they can ask their own record keepers those sorts of questions. So having that daily guidance. And again, I really believe as we go forward, I'm a little bit like I want to put myself out of a job in a way, is for us to all be our own healers, to all be able to access our own Akashic wisdom and guidance so that we can have our own private Akashic consultation with our record keepers every single day, that we can talk to these beautiful beings of light that are here to support us, and do that on a regular basis. So I see many of you on this call are students of mine. And so I always say, thank you for learning to access your own Akashic records. And I hope that you are utilizing this phenomenal empowerment tool. It is one that is important for us to use on a regular basis to strengthen that gift, to go deeper and get stronger and clearer in the ability to access and to bring in information from the Akash. And so all of that is very helpful, important, and it's a process. So, never doubt that it takes some time to go deeper and deeper and deeper, right? I have been doing this for a good half of my life. And now that I'm over 60, that's turning into a really long time. But it continues to deepen. Even after 20 years, after 30 years, our wisdom deepens. And as the energy of Gaia, of our dear Mother Earth, is raising, and it's making it easier for us to be more expansive, to access more expansive information. So if you've learned to access your records, but you're not using that tool, please jump back in and start to utilize this amazing empowerment tool. So let's jump in and do some healing for everyone. And what we'll start by doing is opening the collective, the group records of all the people who are here and all the people who are listening later or again. So we access a group. I'm not opening anyone's personal records because you need specific consent, personal consent to open someone's records. So I'm just opening the energetic records of this group that's showing up and here. And as I bring us into the Akash, you can ask your record keepers, who are your personal Akashic librarians. They're here keeping your Akashic library for you. They are here in service to you. So we can ask, as I'm opening the records or right after I do this group opening, you can ask your own Akashic record keepers to come in and help you. We're inviting them in to help us specifically to do this healing. And I'll say that again after we do this section. So I do this as a brief guided visualization. So let's drop down into our sacred heart. And your sacred heart is a combination of your high heart, which is up by where your thalamus is, up by where my necklace is, right there. And then your heart chakra, which is further down in your heart center. So this fourth chakra and this sacred heart open and expand and blend and become one big sacred heart. So as we breathe into our sacred heart, inviting our high heart and our fourth chakra heart to open and expand and blend and merge and grow as big as our shoulders. As we feel the pure divine love of Source filling us, we ask the Akashic Record Keepers, the divine lords of unconditional love, to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to us today. Please help as we lay our multi-dimensional hearts open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Record, please guide us to the deepest truth we can access now. Support us in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on our true path. We give great thanks for your divine love and support on this journey today. And as we feel the silvery blue column of divine light encircle us from the Akash around us, touching down on Gaia, on our dear Mother Earth, creating a beautiful sacred Akashic column of light, holding us in this energy, supporting us to heal, release, and clear that which no longer serves on our true path. And you can ask your own personal record keepers to assist in doing healing for you as we do this group healing together today. So we are going to start with the fear to love. It's such an important aspect right now for everyone. So this fear to love, to be loved, to be cared for, to care for others, to share our love and our gifts. Many of us have it because of low self-esteem. The feeling that we're not enough, that we're not worthy to be loved. It's a very strong collective energy on Earth, and it's been here forever. And it's written into our world, not into the records, but into our earthly kind of plan, the Earth matrix, our human matrix plan to experience the trauma of this world and to eventually pull ourselves out of it. We chose to come here and have these experiences to grow as a soul and eventually to unwrite, to unweave, to clear and release and delete a lot of the programs that are here on the earth that we chose to learn from. And now it's time to unwrite them, to release them, especially as a collective. So this collective belief that we're not good enough has kept us stuck and very much in servitude to others. It has kept us in fear and lack, which has made us weak as a race of humans. It has made us weak. And so we ask the Akashic record keepers, all of the Akashic lords, all of our guides who are here, the divine beings of light of the Akashic field, to help us to unwrite, unweave, clear, and release this program that says you are not good enough, you are not enough, you are not lovable, you are not worthy. So we are unwriting. And for most, the easiest thing to do is just to stay in your heart center, in your big, expansive heart, to close your eyes if you wish, to continue to breathe into your heart and breathe and release as it's appropriate. You'll hear me often blowing out the energy as it gets released, that I can blow it out. And it's really all of this collective energy, but I see it as a web around the earth. So as we step forward with our own energetic gifts, with our own soul contracts to unwrite this programming, to believe that we are not enough, that we are less than, that we are small and inadequate, weak little beings. As everyone knows that we have pieces, we have energies to help to undo, unwrite, release these big sorts of programs that are around humanity and the planet. Just know that you are helping and assisting, that your record keepers are helping and assisting all of us as we undo this energy for the highest good of all of humanity. A huge program. And I know it will move in layers and layers and layers over time. It may happen over a year or 5. I never know how quickly, because this is something that's been here for 12,000 or so years, if not longer, probably even longer. Back the last round of humans, like pre-flood round of humans, a lot of us were here much more in servitude and enslaved. And so the record keepers are saying that a lot of these huge programs that are on the planet that keep us as humans really enslaved to our fears come from a very long time ago. So if that makes sense or resonates, great. If it doesn't, let it go. Just focus on releasing your own self-doubt, your own level of low self-esteem, your own feelings that maybe you're not lovable or not good enough to be loved. All right, I'm starting to feel that kind of breaking up. Just keep breathing into it, knowing Whew. All right, that's feeling a little lighter. How are y'all doing? It's a huge, long program. Hmm. So good. Yeah, we really can clear a lot of the stuckness without remembering and certainly without going into the emotional pain and trauma of those past lives. Again, it's one of the reasons that I love working in the records, because I have requested from the record keepers to give me an image, just a little not gory snapshot, right? I get the guillotine, I get the losing your head. I don't have to relive it. I can just see a little, out of focus snapshot and just know the story that, say, I was a healer who lost my head, during the dark ages. And okay, good enough to go back and to clear the emotional pain and trauma. So let's do that for everyone, because I'm sure everyone has some version of that story also. Let's go do that for everyone. All of the healers, and I know you are all healers. You have all been some version of healer somewhere along the line, right? So we're just going to ask all of our record keepers who are all here, whether you're listening live right now in this very moment, or you're listening to a replay in this very moment, your record keepers are always here with you. So the energy is always here for you. If you want to go back and listen again, you will get another healing from this video. So let's ask for all of our most important. It's kind of interesting because different words, right? So often the lifetime that the record keepers show me is not the first lifetime, but it's somehow the most important one in relationship to our life now, to what we wrote in our soul's plan now. So when I teach people to access their Akashic records, and I teach you to go outside of time and space and do this type of healing in my workshops, I teach you to ask your record keepers for the highest and best first life to heal. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to heal whatever the record keepers are showing you, if they're showing you something, or they're showing me, whatever that is, kind of as a group energy, that we can heal the highest and best past life where we were killed as a healer, a spiritual teacher, spiritual leader, whatever you might have been. You might have been a herbalist, or maybe you were a midwife or some kind of doctor doing healing work, making medicines and tinctures, or maybe you were an acupuncturist. Whatever it might have been, wherever it was in the timeline, we just invite that energy to come front and center for you, that we may clear that emotional pain, that physical pain, the spiritual pain, the trauma from that life, to free those gifts up to be reclaimed. So I'll do that as a process. So first we just start with clearing the emotional pain, of course, which is often very connected to fear, to terror, of course, they're saying, to anger, to hatred, and to anger at source. And that's part of the, how could you forsake me? Where are you? How could you abandon me to this awful death? to this imprisonment. And so we're just energetically clearing that emotional pain and trauma, because that's the first thing that starts to lock us down. Can actually clear, release, delete, explode that emotional pain, that shame and guilt and anger and hatred and frustration and terror. So I'm releasing, deleting, exploding that for everyone. Of course, in a big group, there's always a lot. So we just continue clearing that. Okay, take a bunch of nice deep breaths. You're dropping back down into your heart center. Deep breath. You might feel it rippling out. I often feel it just leaving my chakra system, my physical body, my auric field, my energy field as it ripples out, and we invite it to clear the whole field with ease and grace. Ooh, okay. Then we're going to do the physical pain. That was all emotional pain and trauma and hatred and anger and all that. Now we want to do physical levels of pain. All time, space, continuum, all places, planes, and dimensions. All of this pain from being killed, drowned, hung, tortured, any version of hurt or harmed, for our healing gifts, our wisdom, our spiritual gifts. We wish to release that. Whew. Any lifetime. There's also another big group of priestesses and priests, high priestesses, ancient mystery schools, where when they broke, they literally, warring factions came in and tore down our mystery schools, killed us. Many of the women were turned into slaves or whores. And we really went into a place of enslavement and competition, which is a whole nother interesting energy that we have on the planet, with competition between women. And a lot of it comes from the fall of the ancient mystery schools of the divine wisdom, the divine feminine wisdom teachings from a couple of 2,000-3,000 BC, honestly. So let's do some clearing around that, because I know that great majority of you here are women in this in your body now, but you if you're not a woman now, you were likely a woman in some of these other lifetimes of the ancient mystery schools, of the priestess temples, of the goddess temples, where we were the divine feminine, we were the divine mothers sharing our wisdom and our gifts. And when those temples crashed and we were imprisoned, it created huge amounts of trauma. And we are at this point in history, we are trying to bring back the balance between masculine and feminine, because it was so distorted for the last 5,000 years. Women who are creators embodied, right? We can create life. We can give birth to another human being. That scared the men in that time, and they took us out and made us prostitutes and slaves. And many women are still suffering with that. So it's an important, big, important piece to heal, especially now as we're Gaia, who is a divine feminine mother energy, our planet, Mother Earth, is raising her vibration and is helping us to ascend as she herself is ascending. And we as women embodied and men as men embodied, it's so important for us to bring that balance. It's all about balance back to the planet. So let me do a little work around that too. That was another great call. All that emotional pain, the trauma of being enslaved and turned into a prostitute, turned into a whore. We fought for the ability to be the highest concubine for the general, right? This is where a lot of this jealousy and competition between women comes in from those days. So we want to clear that energy. We want to clear that programming of jealousy and competition between women. We are infinite souls. We live in an abundant, infinite universe. And we are bringing the abundance of the earth and of life and of everything, abundance of love, vitality, health, money. That's what we're creating in this ascension, bringing that back to humanity. So as we let go of any of our old judgments or jealousies or competitions, we are helping all of humanity come back into balance, right? We're balancing the scales again. Good, good. Beautiful. And as we come back present, I want to fill us all up with our highest Akashic wisdom, light, and energy that we can now hold in this moment after all of this big, really energetic collective healing of pain and trauma has been done. So we clear a space. Now we fill it with your own highest Akashic love, light, vitality, wisdom, gifts, and talents that you've come to bring forward in the world. We bring that all into your body now. So just imagine the beautiful, sparkling, golden Akashic light pouring down into your crown chakra, filling your whole physical body all the way down to a cellular level. Beautiful. Helping you to move forward with ease and grace now. Feel that in your heart. Let yourself feel the truth of who you are as a beautiful, ancient, and wise soul. Infinite soul who really has got this. When we came and we embodied, we knew that we had gifts for humanity. We knew that no matter what challenges we chose in this life, we have the ability to overcome. So with that, we thank the Akashic Record keepers, the divine beings of light, for the love, the wisdom, the guidance, all of the healing energy. We close and lock the group records for now, and so it is. Blessed be. Beautiful. And I hope you will all come and join me in my 2-day workshop. It's May 12th and 13th, right? And let's see if I can just do this really quickly. Let's see how good I am. Good. So 4 keys to unlock your intuition. It's a 2-day masterclass that is coming up. And we know how many of us feel like we don't always make great intuitive decisions. We feel like we're stuck and we're blocked and we're afraid to make new choices. We blame ourselves for making a wrong turn or a poor conclusion. We decide that we can't trust ourselves. And so I am offering this 2-day masterclass to unlock the doors to deepen into your soul guidance. So we'll really start to do some more of this kind of releasing pain from difficult relationships, understanding our soul's plan more, creating healthy boundaries, releasing some more karmic patterns, learning some beautiful healing tools, right? Gaining clarity around your next steps. So this is a beautiful 4-hour each day, 2 days, 4 hours a day. So 8 hours with me, plus some lovely bonuses. And it's only $47 for 2 days with me. And of course, the bonuses add up to $72. So if all you want is the meditations, it's a lovely, lovely way to jump on into that and learn some other tools. So I hope you can jump in and join me in May. It's a whole over a month away. So hopefully you can put it on your calendar and join me for this powerful 2-day healing experience. 4 keys to unlock the doors to your soul guidance. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Bye for now.